Chapter 2. On the Saturday before Valentine's Day, it was a bright, sunny day, and I was chatting with my friends Morgan Dawson and Bjorn Bergerson. They were in the same architectural study program and had turned into good friends. We hung out a lot together. We were laughing and joking around when Bjorn looked just beyond me and said, "Hello, pretty girl. Are you looking for one of us?" I turned around to see a brightly smiling Bethany wearing the cutest matching blue toque, scarf, and mittens I had ever seen. She looked like she had just stepped off a fashion model runway for elegant winter wear. "Bethany!" I exclaimed with excitement as my heart skipped a beat. "I didn't know you would be here today." She instantly threw her arms around me and gave me a big kiss and said, "I have missed you so much, university boy." Soon, her mom and dad had caught up, and Bethany introduced everyone. "Mom, Dad, this is Clinton Hamilton. Clinton, this is my mom and dad, Sandy and Robert MacArthur." Then Morgan stated, "Dude, you're meeting the parents. Did you knock her up or something?" I scowled at Morgan. "Seriously, dude, why would you even say something like that? Bethany's not that kind of girl." Bethany teased, "I can see why. I am kind of cute." Bjorn laughed. "So this is the famous little junior college diva that Morna hates so much." Her dad rolled his eyes and reached out his hand for a handshake. "Welcome to the world of Bethany and her family son. She insisted that we come and meet you today." I beamed brightly at her and said, "You just made my month, Bethany. This was an awesome surprise." We all ate lunch together at the cafeteria and sat and talked for almost 3 hours until her dad said, "Baby girl, I know you could be here all day and night talking to this wonderful young man, but we need to head back to Emerson." Bethany gave me a sad, pouty face and stated, "I guess I have to go now." She reached into her purse and pulled out an Emerson Junior College Valentine's Day dance ticket and placed it in my hands and said, "I know you have midterms on Valentine's Day, so you can't come, but I wanted you to have this ticket anyways. I love to dance, and I hope you don't mind that I'm still going even if you can't make it. But please know, you are the only one I'm dancing with in my heart no matter who asks me. Okay?" I replied, "Bethany, you were born to dance. I wouldn't have it any other way. Go to your dance and have lots of fun. I insist. I think our relationship can handle these moments and still be okay. You only have a few more dances left before university. You need to enjoy every one of them, whether I'm with you or not. I too will be dancing with you in my heart on Valentine's Day." She gave me another huge hug and kiss on the lips right in front of her parents. I don't think they seemed to mind, though. Her mom and dad were chill about everything. I remembered thinking that I wished my mom was like that too. As I watched Bethany's family drive off, I turned to find Morna Raffi standing and waiting for me a few feet away. "Can we talk?" Morna stated with a sad voice. "Okay," I replied cautiously. I followed her to a park bench near the cement walking path. "I need to know why you are still with that girl. Your mother told me that sooner or later you would come to your senses and get back with me. Why haven't you done that yet?" "Morna, please. We broke up." "Okay, I get it. It really sucks, but this isn't going to bring me back to you. We were a team, me and you, a partnership. This was the year I was going to be intimate with you, and you blew it. You've broken my heart so badly that I don't think I can ever trust another man again." "Then why are you here?" "I am here to say that when you come back to your senses and come crawling back on your hands and knees, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than you saying sorry." I pointed to the now empty parking lot. "That girl is my destiny, Morna. I want to marry her and have children with her. We have gotten to know each other more and much deeper over the last few weeks. More so than you or I have ever gotten to know each other. I am in love with her, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same about me. I won't ever be crawling back to you. Even if she dumps me, I'm never coming back." "Why not? Don't say never," Morna started to cry. "Those are words you can't take back if you say that." "Morna, never means never. It means that Bethany has shown me how deep love can go between two people." Morna snapped back in contempt. "Did you make love to her?" "No, she's not that kind of girl. And honestly, I'm not ready until she is ready. Even if we wait years, that is okay with me." Do you love her because she is really pretty and I don't look as good as she does? I see how you look at her. You've never looked at me that way. What do you want me to say to that? All it's going to do is hurt you more. I need to know why my faithful best friend and boyfriend throughout our teen years has dumped me for a younger girl who is still in junior college. I'm not leaving until you tell me. It's much, much more than her looks, Morna. It's her soul. It's her heart. We connect in a powerful and intensely personal way. You and I never did that. I don't think we can ever do that. Morna wiped away tears and replied, Mark my words, Clinton. A girl like Bethany can have any guy she sets her heart on. One day it will be you having this conversation with her, and I will be long gone when that happens. She didn't just take away my boyfriend, she took away your very best friend in the whole world. I stood watching as Morna walked away. She had managed to turn a beautiful day into sadness and frustration. I knew the next call from my mom was going to be very hard to deal with. At 6:30 a.m. the next morning, my mom called. Or at least I thought it was my mom. I watched the phone ring, but I didn't want to pick it up. I knew if I left it, she would call and call and call until she spoke with me. So reluctantly, I picked up the phone and said, Hey, Mom, how are you? The voice on the other end laughed and said, A little early to be calling me Mom, isn't it? Do we have children I'm not aware of? It was Bethany. Hey, Cherry Cola. I didn't think you even knew what 6 in the morning looked like. I teased and felt very relieved it wasn't my mom. I know, right? This is a big step for me. I'm practicing being big, so I know how to act like big people when I get to university. It's really good to hear your voice. It was even better to see you in person yesterday. That was crazy awesome. I couldn't sleep when I got home last night. I almost called you then, but it would have been almost midnight, and I don't want to wreck your study schedule. I teased. Trust me, Bethany, you already wreck my study schedule, but I'm happy you do. You make it worthwhile. She changed the subject and stated, I saw Morna walking up to you just as we left the parking lot. How did that go? She's angry, bitter, jealous. She wants me back. She says that you can have any guy you want and you will dump me one day when a better one comes along. Do you believe that? Not on my better days, but I can be insecure too. Sometimes I feel that way. You have way more options than I do, Bethany. No, actually I don't. There is no one like you, and if it helps, I was feeling insecure all night, and it was making me crazy knowing that Morna was talking with you. I know it's not realistic, but I want you all to myself. At that moment, I heard loud knocking on the door and the voice of my mother. She was here. She'd come to UW early in the morning. Like, what the heck? Hey, Cherry Cola girl, know that you are in my heart forever, okay? I have to go. I think my mom just arrived at this early hour for some insane reason. I'll tell you all about it later. Okay, hugs and kisses, university boy. Hugs and kisses back to you, Cherry Cola. I opened the door to see Mom in her business suit. She pushed me aside, walked up to the pictures on the corkboard, and sniffed hard as she shook her head. Well, she is definitely a pretty little thing. I'll give her that. Mom sat on the edge of my bed and patted the spot beside her. Like an obedient child, I sat down on the bed. Mom looked at me and stated, This little high school fantasy of yours stops today. The Hamilton family are better than that. All of your older siblings have quality, professionally aligned relationships, and they work very well. Mom pointed at the corkboard and stated, Girls like her aren't even in the same ballpark as you. Hell, she isn't even in the same league. She's a bloody junior college kid, for Pete's sakes. What are you thinking? My face was red as I replied, Mom, I'm in love with her, and I'm willing to wait as long as it takes for her to catch up to me. Catch up to you? She will never catch up to you. I can tell by looking at her picture that she will always remain a simple-minded girl. You were born into a family of brilliant, hard-working people. She will drag you down. I understand your infatuation, Clinton. I honestly do. She's beautiful. And no doubt you think the moon and the stars were put in place just for her. But honey, there's probably not much more than pretty fluff between her ears. She wants to be a teacher and have babies. Give your head a shake. That is so beneath us. I'm not changing my mind, Mom. I'm telling you, I think I found my forever soulmate. At that point, my mom lost it at me and I tuned her out. However, she did arrange to get my car towed back home to make sure I wouldn't try to go see Bethany. My mom was like that. If I didn't obey every command right to the letter, she made sure it hurt. Bethany was crying on the phone after I told her what had happened with my mom. How can she already hate me? She hasn't even met me yet. Hey, Bethany, it's not you at all. My mom can be nasty. She's always been like that. And for some reason, she freaks out if I try to do anything that she hasn't thought of and approved first. But it means we can't see each other. My parents love you. I don't understand. There was almost no point in trying to convince Bethany she was really upset. It was breaking my heart to hear her like this. My mom's unsound opinion had wounded her, and she did nothing to deserve this treatment. I decided on the Thursday of Bethany's Valentine's dance that I would blow aside a midterm exam and hand in an assignment late. I also decided to rent a car on my emergency-only credit card and go drive out to see Bethany. That was the only way I could handle my intense emotions and have her feel like we were still a viable couple. It was a gamble, but it paid off in a major way. The dance was already underway when I arrived with a dozen red roses. I was bound and determined to find my Bethany and make her laugh and smile. When I walked into the gymnasium, I saw her right away. She appeared to be getting hassled by some guy, so I went up to them and stated to him, "I believe the lady has politely told you to move along. Go find some other girl to dance with." Bethany turned, gasped, and threw her arms around me and gave me a big kiss. "Oh my gosh! I didn't think you could come tonight. I can't believe you are actually here." I couldn't leave the prettiest girl in Emerson College without a dance partner, could I? "You have made me so happy." She was radiant. She looked unbelievable in her curvy dark orange dress and her hair pinned up with at least 30 tiny little white flowers all through her hair. Her big blue eyes sparkled as she kept smiling at me. I said, "Bethany, you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. You take my breath away." "You're not so bad yourself, Mr. Handsome University boy. Do you see all the girls looking at you? They are all wishing they were me right now." She teased and gave me another kiss. "Rule 3, Ms. MacArthur," one of the chaperones called to Bethany as she glared at both of us. "Rule 3, no kissing on the dance floor. Welcome back to junior college, university boy." "Okay, noted." After Bethany found a place to lay down for her flowers, we danced all evening together. We were both in heaven as we stared into each other's eyes. A few guys tried to ask her to dance, but she just shook her head and replied each time, "No, thank you. It's sweet of you to ask, but I'm with my boyfriend tonight." Then a few girls asked me to dance. Bethany got a little more aggressive with those requests as she replied for me, "He's taken all night long, and if he knows what's good for him, he will turn you down." It made me laugh. Bethany stated innocently, "What? I play for keeps." At the end of the dance, Bethany went to find her roses, but someone had taken them. She started to cry and asked, "Who would take my roses? I was going to put them in my bedroom, and when they died, I was going to press them into a pretty picture." I hugged Bethany and held her as she wept. I looked into her in the eyes and replied, "There will be many more days with many more bouquets of flowers. I can promise you that. Maybe someone took them home because they were sad and needed cheering up." Bethany laughed through her tears. "You sound like Anna. She would say something like that." We both walked out of the now empty gymnasium hand in hand, into the dark parking lot towards my rented car. "Looking for these?" An angry voice called out from behind. We turned around to see Bethany's old psychotic boyfriend, Troy Smudge, holding Bethany's roses. "What are you doing with my flowers?" Bethany exclaimed. "I don't know, Bethany. What am I doing with your flowers? You tell me. Maybe I'll take them home and pour gasoline on them and light them on fire, kind of like the way you're burning my heart tonight." "I broke up with you a month and a half ago, Troy. Get over it and give me back my flowers." Troy started to raise his voice. "Get over it? You are telling me to freaking get over it? Like, who says that? It is supposed to be me and you, Bethany. You know and I know it. We are meant for each other. And you had to go flaunt some hairy university dude in front of me? So what are you going to do now, huh? Go home and let him have his way with you? Is that his price for going with you tonight?" Bethany yelled back. "What is wrong with you? Do you think this is going to win me back? You scare me, Troy. I will never be treated the way you treated me ever again. That is my memory of you. The boy I wanted to break up with almost right away. Then why did we go out for a year, huh? If you hated me that much. I was scared of you. You're always angry. I can't handle your temper and your abusive swearing. You've called me a lot of horrible, nasty names. You smash whatever is in reach when you are angry and don't get your way. You need anger management therapy, or you're going to badly injure your next girlfriend. I am not going to be her. I loathe you. Troy raged and threw the flowers into a mud puddle and stomped them as hard as he could. He looked up at Bethany, made an obscene gesture towards her, and yelled, "I hope you burn in hell!" He turned, walked over to his car, and spun gravel as he raced out of the parking lot. Bethany was wiping away tears as I embraced her and said, "Let's go save your flowers. I know how to clean them up and prepare them for pressing. They can still be a good memory of the beautiful part of our evening together." "Okay," Bethany whispered back. Together we managed to collect all of the broken roses and even fished out the stripped-off petals. When we arrived at Bethany's house, we went into the kitchen, and I carefully and patiently showed Bethany how to wash and prepare the damaged roses for pressing. Her mom entered the kitchen and was surprised to see me. She looked at Bethany and stated, "Sweetheart, what's all this?" Bethany's eyes watered as she replied, "Clinton surprised me with a dozen roses tonight. Troy found them and freaked out on me and destroyed them." "Oh," Mom exclaimed. "What are you doing now?" I replied. "Now we are very carefully washing them and preparing them so Bethany can press them and turn broken roses into a bouquet that will last forever. A good memory of our first of many dances together. We will need to borrow your flower press if that's okay." Sandy and Bethany smiled at each other with tears. We spent the next 2 hours getting the arrangement to perfection on the flower press plate. When we were done, I looked at Bethany and stated, "One down and about 1,000 more to go." After that, we sat around the kitchen table drinking herb tea when Bethany asked, "Can Clinton sleep here tonight in the laundry room?" "Of course, sweetheart. But that's out of bounds for you once he goes down there for the night. I need to hear you acknowledge that." Bethany blushed. "Understood, Mom." She then looked at me and stated, "Anna and Craig kind of didn't play by the house rules when they lived here." I could see the fear in Sandy's eyes, so I assured her, "Oh, I see. I will never disrespect her or your house rules, Mrs. MacArthur." After that, we both changed into comfortable sweatpants and hoodies. We met back in the living room and sat on the sofa together. I pulled a brand new University of Washington hoodie from my sports bag and handed it to Bethany. "I was hoping you would be willing to become my serious, long-term, steady girlfriend. It's not that fancy, but it's what I can afford for now." Bethany smiled and instantly pulled off her hoodie and changed into the brand new one that I'd given her. She didn't seem to care that I had seen her in her bra as she did this. She then curled up and snuggled in beside me, laid her head on my chest, and we both fell asleep. It had been a long day and an eventful evening. We woke up at around 7 a.m. and found that a warm comforter had been laid over top of us. I was really nervous. I was supposed to have slept down in the basement, but that didn't seem to happen. Bethany saw my concern and teased, "I think we slept together last night. My dad may force us to get married." I laughed as I enjoyed being close to this amazing girl. Sandy came in from the kitchen and announced, "Oh, coffee is on." I braced myself for a scolding, but it never happened. I looked at Bethany and asked, "Do you think she knows we slept on the sofa together?" Bethany laughed. "Who do you think put the blanket on us? She checked up on us in the middle of the night when you were sleeping and said, 'I'll allow this as long as you both keep your clothes on.'" So, okay. Bethany's parents were officially my favorite set of parents after that. Much more understanding and kind-hearted than mine were. When I sat with Bethany on the stairs to the outside porch, I didn't want to go back to UW. I needed to say to her what was on my heart and risk it all once and for all. I took her hands and looked into her eyes and softly said, "I'm in love with you, Bethany MacArthur. It's like nothing I have ever felt before for anyone. I could spend 1,000 years looking into your eyes." Bethany beamed and replied, "What took you so long to tell me that, huh?" Does that mean you love me too? Oh my gosh, yes, I fell in love with you the first day we met. Laughed. Me too, you captured my heart with cherry cola. That's what you will always be to me, a pretty little cherry cola girl. So, what's next? Bethany smiled brightly and said, right now we plan the rest of our lives together. The rest of our lives? Yes. You are going to see me as often as you can. And when I get to university, I won't leave you alone ever. And then we graduate and marry and have babies. It's a pretty nice future, don't you think? I blushed and replied, the thought of eventually being married with children used to freak me out. But with you, that's all I can think about now, you and me together forever. Baby, I'm so good for you. I'm the only one, and you know it. Baby? I asked. That was the first time she called me that. Yes, baby. I've always wanted to call my boyfriend that. Did you call Troy that? She laughed. I've called him psycho, I've cussed him out, I've even called him a yucky scuzzwad, but never baby. That's only for the man I'm in love with. Scuzzwad? Yeah, he's scuzzy. So scuzzwad kind of fits. Did you and Troy ever... She smiled and put her hand on my face. No, I'm saving that for the man I love. She hesitated for a moment as if she wasn't sure if she should ask, but she did anyway. And you? I replied with a blush and a smile. Oldest virgin at U of W. Bethany put her forehead against mine and whispered, promise me you will save yourself for me, and I will save myself for you for when the time is right, okay? Can you do that for me? I whispered back. I promise you with all my heart, Bethany MacArthur, that I will never sleep with any other woman, only when you are ready and only when you tell me. I promise to not pressure you or get mean or do anything that will hurt you or break your heart. To me, you are a rare and beautiful flower, and I love you body, mind, and soul. And I think I found my forever soulmate. Bethany wiped away tears as she held her forehead against mine. I think I found my forever soulmate too. I love you so much. She kissed my face, mouth, and nose with her wet, tear-stained lips. This was the most exhilarating moment of my life. We had told each other we were in love, and the intensity was so incredible. I wanted to shout it from the rooftops that I loved this girl with all my heart. I sadly stated, I want to stay here forever, Bethany, but I have a long drive back, and I need to get going. I'm already late for a class that I've blown off an exam for, and I need to be there by this evening. Bethany nodded as she continued to kiss my face and lips. I know, baby. Call me when you get there, so I know you are safe, okay? I promise. To say that I was in deep trouble because of that Valentine Day dance would be a huge understatement. In our house, higher education was a religion, and I had just committed the heresy of purposely missing an exam and a deadline for an assignment, all for the love of an 18-year-old junior college girl. I might as well have been caught trying to embezzle $1 million. Both my parents showed up at UW a couple of days after the Valentine's dance. I was shocked that they had found out about that so quickly. I think it was Morna that had tipped them off about my exam. I sat there like a little child while my mom and dad shredded me, took away my credit card and my in-room phone. I was able to take Bethany's pictures down before my mom and dad saw them. I did not want my mom and dad to be able to recognize Bethany if they ever saw her again. I know my mom had seen them before, but she could sometimes have a bad memory for faces. I felt protective of Bethany, and I wanted to especially shield her from my mom at all costs. I pretended to go out to hand in an assignment and stash them in an old, outdated book on binary codes in the library and waited for the heat to die down. I retrieved them after my parents went back home and put them back up on the corkboard. I also assessed my remaining bank account, skipped a couple of more classes, and bought an old Honda Civic. I purchased and insured it for under $1,000. I also bought another phone and hooked it up under my own name with a different phone number. My parents always deposited around $1,000 into my bank account each month, so I was able to hide my nefarious Bethany visiting and phone conversation activities. In the summertime, I secretly stored the car at a friend's house and had my parents pick me up from school, and then retrieved my car at the end of summer for the start of the next school year. I followed this process until the end of my third year. This is when I landed an architectural internship at Emerson and told my parents I had bought a cheap car for the summer. They bought the scam, and I was now free and clear once more. By that point, my parents had forgotten all about Bethany and where she lived. Even though she had turned 19 and had graduated from junior college, I was not about to disclose that we were still in love and practically living together in her parents' basement during the internship. We were also living together at the university. Bethany is in her first year of primary school teaching, and I am in my fourth and final year of architecture. Bethany was fully up to speed on my mom and dad, and I made sure she was never around when they planned their visits. She would bunk in with Craig and Anna on those days. My mom had also reluctantly come to the realization that Morna and I were never coming back together. I think she went through a time of mourning, but I was now free to pursue other interested parties. That's when Bethany and I hatched a plan to bring her home for Thanksgiving dinner near the end of November. The concept was to say that she was a girl I met in Emerson while working there in the summertime. She also just happened to be going to UW. It was a risk, but we felt it was manageable. I told my parents that Bethany was just a friend who was staying with us over the holiday weekend. We would then feign our progressing relationship until my parents had warmed up enough so Bethany and I could openly declare our love. Dangerous, but worth the risk. What we hadn't counted on was my parents inviting Morna and her family to attend the same dinner. That's when some messy stuff hit the fan. Bethany was nervous on the trip from UW to my house. It was about a 3-hour road trip to my parents' house in Vancouver, Washington, near the Oregon border. When we got there, she was blown away by our huge, lavish home. We had a 10,000 square foot house on 100 acres of land that contained rolling fields, orchards, and a large horse stable with 8 horses. The house itself was a New England colonial-style mansion with 5,000 square feet on each level. It also had a vast basement that was not included in the square foot calculation. My dad had designed and built this home. My siblings and I had all grown up there. When we walked into the house, I found my mom in the kitchen and introduced Bethany to her. She shook Bethany's hand and stated, "My, you are such a lovely young lady. Have I seen you before?" "I don't think so," Bethany replied as she looked at me. I then introduced Bethany to my dad in his study. He lit right up when he saw her. I could tell he liked her right away. "Well, hello there, young lady. Are you Clinton's friend from UW?" Bethany shyly replied, "I am Mr. Hamilton. It's nice to meet you." Everything was working out swimmingly until I saw the Raffies walk through the front door with Morna. Bethany and I froze. This was suddenly becoming a slow-rolling nightmare. Then my mom introduced Morna to Bethany. "Bethany, this is Morna. She has been Clinton's best friend for a long time. I'm sure you've seen her around UW before." Bethany replied, "Happy to see you, Morna." Mom continued, "Bethany is Clinton's friend from where he did his architecture summer internship in Emerson. They met at the end of summer this year." Morna looked at me, then at Bethany. She smiled and politely replied, "Good to officially meet you, Bethany. I hear those living accommodations in your area at UW are cramped. Who is your roommate?" Bethany replied nervously as she lied, "It's not so bad. They stuck me with a 4th year, so I hardly ever see her. Her name is Anna Volkov." Mom replied, "Where have I heard that name before?" I replied, "She's the feminist who was badly injured over a year ago. She's a legend at UW now. She's dating Bethany's brother Craig. Anna is studying philosophy and Craig is studying engineering." My mom nodded. Then she called out to everyone, "Let's find our seats at the table." There were 13 of us gathered around the table, including my mom and dad, Mr. and Mrs. Raffi, Morna, my sister Carol, and her husband Floyd, my brother Albert and his wife Cindy, and my other brother Wyatt and his wife Geraldine. Dinner was going well, and we all made small talk. My brothers and my dad were paying close attention to Bethany. I think they were enjoying talking with a beautiful young girl more than anything. They were all somewhat smitten with her. I also think that really got to Morna as she lit the fuse to the unexploded family bomb. Morna asked, Bethany, do you remember when Clinton had a serious crush on you 2 years ago? How old were you then? Right, I remember, 18, I think. And weren't you just a junior college student? And you live in Emerson, don't you? Bethany turned bright red. She pursed her lips and looked at me. We were busted. There was no way of getting out of this one now. Then the penny dropped with my mom. She asked Bethany, "Are you the girl whose pictures I saw on my son's bulletin board? The one that he told me that he was no longer dating?" Bethany didn't know what to do. Then she replied, "It is possible. I did know him back then." Mom then asked Morna, "Sweetheart, is this the girl you told me about 2 years ago?" Morna smiled. "The same girl, different lies. Her roommate isn't Anna Volkov, it's Clinton Hamilton." That got everyone's attention now. Bethany and I avoided eye contact with everyone. Mom looked at me and asked, "How can she be your roommate, Clinton? There's only one bed in your dorm." The pressure on Bethany got to be too much. She started silently weeping and brushing away tears. She pushed her chair away from the table and went to leave. Then my mom yelled so forcefully that Bethany involuntarily shuddered. "I'm not done with you yet. How dare you lie to me in my own house? I demand an explanation from you." Bethany stopped in her tracks, looked back at me as more tears started to flow, and stated, "I want to go back, Clinton. I can't stay here. Please take me back to the university." My mom was now starting to lose control as she yelled, "Damn it, girl, how old are you?" Bethany looked defiantly at my mom and stated, "I am 20 years old, and I share a bed with your son at university. Are you happy now? Or do you want to humiliate me further?" Mom looked at me enraged. "How dare you bring this girl into my house and try to pass her off as just a friendly acquaintance? How long have you been together with her?" I replied as calmly as I could. "We have been dating for the past 2 years and living together since she graduated high school, first at her parents' house in Emerson and then at UW starting this September." There was dead silence now. Bethany was looking at the floor and wiping away her tears. She tried to leave, but Mom screamed at her again. "You have dishonored my house. You are nothing but an opportunistic little gold digger. How dare you lie to my face like that? My son deserves a woman a hell of a lot better than you." Bethany started sobbing and ran outside. I chased after her as my mom screamed even louder. I don't remember what she said, but I am sure it was harsh and horrible. I found Bethany in the middle of the driveway sobbing hard. I don't think she had ever experienced anything like that before. She was in shock. I, on the other hand, had grown up with my mother's tirades and temper tantrums. They were all too common. We as children used to call them the bi-weekly spaz out. About the best my mom could go without freaking out, everyone was around 10 to 14 days. All these years later, and after Bethany had passed away, my dad and mom separated. My dad said that unless she were to get counseling and go on some type of medication, he was going to divorce her. At first, she refused to deal with it, but then she realized that Dad was serious. She finally, reluctantly went for help. My mom is a true narcissist and still does not believe she was that bad. But when we all went to family counseling together, all of us adult children banded together and let loose on her. To this day, my mom has never met my daughter Maria because I will never expose her to this level of trauma and abuse. I, too, have now spent years in therapy so I can face what happened in my childhood because of her.